Today is the day I am bringing back the review series, harder than ever. In late 2019, I ran a series where I would look at level in detail, which has since been transferred into the Thoughts On series. Since then, this series has been left for dead until now. It's back, reloaded with 3 levels per video, with levels that aren't quite fit for the Thoughts On series, since I want to keep that series reserved for levels with a lot of talking points. Back in the day, I ran this series with a queue of levels, which I'm going to be dwindling down after this video. This video will just have a few levels that caught my eye last month, but after this I'll finish off the old queue to keep my promises with the people who requested to it. These reviews won't quite be as detailed as the Thoughts On videos, but I'll cover as much as possible without making the video too long. And without further ado, I present to you episode 11 of the review series. Hello everyone, it's Wulzy and welcome back to the review series. First up is Frenzy by Balli, which is a primarily dark level using a blending screen above the player alongside some bright colours in the structures to create a lively atmosphere with a changing aesthetic, due to a constant change in colour done by the pulses. The level uses some diverse yet fitting easings to make each part feel different, although the design is spread across multiple parts at times. I like that the level taps into multiple different design styles, as it initially uses bright bases in the structures, then transitions into a darker part that uses black as the base of the blocks in order to define the outlines a lot more and create stronger highlights. Either way, Balli has done a great job at emphasizing the gameplay, as the dark background contrasts greatly to the light blocks. The dark section leads on very nicely to a slow robot section that is probably my favourite part in the level, due to the wide colour range that is unseen anywhere else. The blocks are lined with rainbow glow that ties into the level well and doesn't look out of place. And right after this, Balli incorporates yet another type of pulse that isn't incorporated anywhere else, and I feel as if this part is a lot more special due to it. This is how the blocks light up when the player touches them, which isn't too original, but I think it's well executed here due to how it fits with the song at this part. However, I feel like the level degrades in quality slightly from the transition onwards, as there is noticeably less decoration, when in other parts of the level there is subtle custom backgrounds to fill in space. The next part of the level relies on the overlay to keep it filled, which makes the colours look nice but in turn sacrifices the actual quality. This is redeemed slightly by the darkest ship section at the end, as it does feel cohesive, but I think the level had more potential at the drop that it didn't live up to. Overall, this level is quite interesting and unique, and the gameplay was very enjoyable, but it could have been improved in its decoration consistency towards the end. The level does feel quite solid as a whole because the dark background is constant all the way through. Moving on swiftly to Underline by Alkali, this level is opposite to the previous, focusing on a laid-back, more chill style of level, using a consistent mask to create some cool block design and visuals, which at times make the gameplay difficult to see, like in the first ship section. This part doesn't have any outlines to show the exact borders of the spikes, which can make it a little frustrating to play, especially when it's moving up and down the screen. It's difficult to tell quite how fast the blocks are moving because the background behind the mask doesn't highlight the edges. For this reason, I believe the last part in the level is one of the best because the blocks are so clear to see while incorporating an original block design through the mask. I think the middle section is also very strong because of the window effect and the link between the edges of the blocks and the spikes. However, I feel as if the space beneath these blocks is quite empty and bland. I wish there was a better attempt at structuring since the rest of the level uses the mask for the blocks somehow. The colours are pretty desaturated for the most part, with some subtle pulsing to bring some life to the level. The blocks don't need much movement since the effect behind them is often dynamic and makes up for this. However, the colours in the wave part are very saturated but are muddy at the same time, which doesn't fit in with the rest of the level in my eyes. It's very trippy though, especially in the pulse where the two tones are swapped and inverted. It's a nice touch that brings a little bit more variation to the level and makes the change in saturation worthwhile and effective. Alkali uses the speed portal trick in this level to bring the duration under 1 minute long, while keeping the display as long, which is a trick I've done myself in the past, but it's a shame to see. I vowed never to do this again personally because it makes the level cheap, and I think there could have been an even more experimental style with it, since I know Alkali is very creative and can often carry a good vibe all the way across a level. Overall, the level feels a little unfinished due to the medium length, and I feel like the wave in the middle is out of place. It's cool to see experimentation and a change of pace from Alkali, and it shows he's talented in multiple areas and styles. Now for the final level in the video, Agony by Hyenada. He's a very silent creator in the community, but he's a genius at coming up with original ideas. Agony is a level that sticks to a red, yellow and green colour scheme very effectively, pairing the mysterious song with some prominently dark design. He's very good at tying a simple design into a theme to make it significant, then sticking with it for the whole duration of the level. The level progresses very nicely in a smooth ship section that uses a blending screen to lift the colours nicely and tie each element together better. There's a very interesting parallax effect in the background of the ship section that appears to create windows into space, alongside some low opacity fire that eases this background into the level while keeping it animated, which I think makes it very well executed. The next section also uses the effect to fill space, which is pretty original and plays with 3D once again like the previous section. I like that subtle link between effects, and the beginning is very cohesive since every part follows on from each other in the same format. The drop section in the level is very reliant on the effects and pulses to keep it looking fresh, as there are lots of empty spaces too. The block design is mostly black, with few details within, so that it remains clear even when the effects are going on in the background. The music sync in this level is very nice, and the effects are very unconventional, which makes it look original despite the same colour scheme being used all the way through. The structure shapes are varied, which is cool to see, and similar designs are projected across them all, which makes the drop consistent. The level feels very whole as there is a clear beginning, middle and end while everything is varied, although the designs aren't experimented with very much. I would have liked to see some change in base colour on the structures at times to bring a new look to the level and make it stand out a little bit more, because the black bases are very repetitive after a while, especially alongside the empty spaces elsewhere. The level is pretty solid overall, and it's nice to see something new from Hyenada, as his style is often light-hearted. Thank you for watching this episode of the review series. Hopefully I'll be able to pump this out a bit more consistently in the future after a few months break from it. This isn't the end of the Thoughts On series either. I'll divide my focus across both to give a wider range of feedback across different styles of levels. I hope you enjoy this series return, and I'll see you soon. Have a good day.